The song's called MO.
Traveling into the dark, the night just saw your heart newly bled. I saw a part of you, it's already dead. I've heard thousands of times about the lonely love, turn the surface as we're looking below. I've heard thousands of times about the lonely love, hiding secrets they don't want you to know. Circles in the center ain't there, receiving messages from wide open stares. Red appears on your walking in new. She's got a cousin who reminds me of you. I've heard thousands of times about the lonely love, turning surface as we're looking below. I've heard thousands of times about the lonely love, hiding secrets they don't want you to know. Reflections on a fictional mind, stranger nights with her by my side. Circle split and you're making your mark. You're traveling into the dark. Thousands of times I've got the lonely love, turning circles as we're looking below. I've heard thousands of times I've got the lonely love, hiding secrets they don't want you to know.
I think what we want to do is be in control of this band, and we want to record and then get it out there as quickly as possible, because the more time that passes, the less like that band we are.
And do you think you'll take it down the same record label route as you have for the past albums, or do you think you'll be more inclined to try and do things yourselves again?
Well, we are contractually obliged to give this album. You know, we've got a 3-album deal, so
Yeah, I mean there will be somewhere along the way, because of the pressures of touring and trying to do the band and trying to work to pay for the band at the same time, which was making us like work 80-hour weeks or whatever. There were many things that we gave up control on. We gave up. You know, I didn't sit on the internet or on the phone for 16 hours a day making sure that people were doing what we wanted them to, and therefore people had some freedom to go and do things or not do things that we really would have loved. So we're certainly, with the next album, going to pay more attention and take some responsibility for Oppenheimer. You know, I think it was a mixture of being tired and worn down and lazy last time, where, you know, we let things happen and things slide that we shouldn't have, and that's not going to happen again. I think this is our band and it's our creativity, and if we don't work really hard at it, why should anyone else?
I know from the last album you had some collaborators, and on the first record as well. Do you have any plans for collaborations in the future?
well, we've already started recording with the other 2 members of Team Oppenheimer, Angie and Hornby, on the latest demos. So, who would you like?
I don't know yet. I thought I wanted to get a rapper, but then it was me, so, you know.
And what kind of influence do you think Angie and Hornby have had on Oppenheimer?
I think...
Since you're sitting right behind us,
Yeah.
I'm going to say nice things. Do you know what? They're all right. It's
They're a great bunch of lads.
I think like
Yeah, they are.
the dynamic of having them on tour, because it's been just over 12 months since we kind of thought, let's do this on a half permanent basis, and it's divided some people. The people who, you know, are scared about paying for extra hotel rooms are scared of it. The people who maybe saw us as a 2-piece all the time, and then all of a sudden there's like 2 other people from Belfast who are up there with us, they're kind of thinking, how did those jerks get up there? You know, we picked both of them based on their musical ability and asked them to guest on the second album, took them on tour, and it really worked out. Married some of them, and didn't marry some of the other ones. But
Maybe you did. Your honeymoon was in Utah, right?
yeah, right, Hornby. It's but what it's become, like, I think the dynamic of having 2 extra people on tour is incredible. But having 2 people, can I say the dynamic again once more?
Yeah.
The dynamic of having 2 extra people on stage, and what sonically and visually that can do for us, I think it's incredible. It's like you don't have one guy like
Having to sit constantly.
sitting down drumming, another guy kind of going a bit mental, like he's in his bedroom and doesn't think anyone's looking. You've got like 3 idiots going a bit crazy, and that helps. And on top of that, the musical influence and abilities of like instruments that we can't play, voices that we don't have, and the music, like that they've not only their own music, but the music that they've brought to us that as influences, you know, bands that we listen to in the car, you know, they've, as 2 people, they've shaped us as musicians in different ways, I think, definitely.
You wanna go down to the subway to make your way uptown. Friends that you know, they are riding for this girl that has books about boyfriends. I'm not the one to believe you were too afraid to meet.
I don't care what anybody says about you. I think you're all right.
This is a moment to everything in you. I'm hungry to come back to you. This is a moment to everything in you. I'm hungry to come back to you. This is what I want to do, but these are the things that I've got to do. And this is what I want for you, but these are the ways of the world. This is what I want to do, but these are the things that I've got to do. This is what I want for you, but these are the ways of the world. This is what I want to do, but these are the things that I've got to do. This is what I
So say fast forward 12 months' time, where would you like to see Oppenheimer in, say, in a year? How would you like to see the state of the band? Because forgive me if I'm wrong, like, but it seems like, you know, the past, you know, year, it's been, well, I suppose there's been more difficulties than you probably imagined there would be. I don't know whether, you know, with the first album went really well, things were going great, you know, you're just going on tour, everybody's buzzing you up, and you think this is the shape of things to come, this is where it's going to go, and then, you know, it doesn't pan out exactly as you'd planned, and now it seems like, you know, you're taking stock and
I think I'd like
forward.
to have a really sonically completely different album in the bag. I think that's something where people will listen to it, and I think what I'd love to do, I'd love to do, well, I don't want to use the word stunt, but, you know, I'm going to use the word stunt. What Jet Plane Landing did, I think everybody had one idea of what Jet Plane Landing were going to be, and then they came out with a funk album. And
We're not coming out with a funk album, are we?
No,
Right.
the F word is still a dirty word in this band. There's no funk, but it's the kind. I'd like for that to happen, and for people might think, you know, what the hell's going on? Some people will get it, some people won't, and the people that do are going to think it's better than anything we've ever done. I think that's what my main objective number one would be.
Yeah, that's really good, and I agree. I think, you know, after the first album and the second album, I think all of the things that we maybe wanted to happen, maybe like 3/4 of them have come true, certainly. And I guess maybe sometimes you forget about that. You forget that before we released the second album, we were struggling to get tours and get on tour with really nice bands, and we were like just dying to get a really nice booking agent who would help us do that. And we've got like 2 of the most amazing booking agents in the world working for us. We've got a great manager who would do anything for us, and you know, that the faith that they've put into us, and their company, who don't seem to work with loser bands. You know, either they're having a laugh at us in their office right now, or they believe in us, and that's been amazing. We've got to release albums worldwide and have songs used in TV shows and drive around in a van playing to new people every night. So in that respect, dreams have come true. I think, you know, we didn't foresee these difficulties with not getting enough physical time to be the band, and it's made us cagey and angry and fighty at times. I think what we probably forget about is when we've been in a room for an hour together playing music, that's what this band actually is. But the more time that you spend having to, like, be it teach kids or record artists or like fix terribly recorded things and make them acceptable, you know, when you have to do that to make your money, to be the band, but you only get to be the band for like 1 day every 2 months, you forget about the good side of things. So I think in 12 months time, I would love to see that balance reversed again, where it's like 5 days a week we get to be the band, and the other, like whatever the other time is, to do things that make us happy, in order to want to come back to do it, which I think is entirely possible. We just need to brush away the negativity of the past like half a year and start afresh. And I think maybe that's what this album will be, and the thought process behind that, and the feeling of recording music that sounds different. I think maybe with 2/3 of the tracks that we've kind of recorded so far, we've had to ask 10 people, does this sound like Oppenheimer? And usually they kind of go, So it's either going to be a great thing or a terrible thing.
Sight looks stunning in a land that you've I've heard dozens of times about the lonely road, turn the surface as we're looking below. I've heard dozens of times about the lonely road, hiding secrets they don't want you to know. Circles in the center ain't there, receiving messages from wide open stares. Red appears on your walking in new. She's got a cousin who reminds me of you. I've heard dozens of times about the lonely road, turning circles as we're looking below. I've heard dozens of times about the lonely road, hiding secrets they don't want you to know.
Pressures of touring and trying to do the band and trying to work to pay for the band at the same time, which was making us like work 80-hour weeks or whatever. There were many things that we gave up control on. We gave up, you know, I didn't sit on the internet or on the phone for 16 hours a day making sure that people were doing what we wanted them to, and therefore people had some freedom to go and do things or not do things that we really would have loved. So we're certainly with the next album going to pay more attention and take some responsibility for Oppenheimer. You know, this is, I think it was a mixture of being tired and worn down and lazy last time, where, you know, we let things happen and things slide that we shouldn't have, and that.
Reflections on a fictional mind, stranger nights with her by my side. Circle split and you're making your mark. You're traveling into the dark. Dozens of times I've got the lonely road, turning circles as we're looking below. I've heard dozens of times I've got the lonely road, hiding secrets they don't want you to know.
This song's called MO.
Circles and I'm watching the sparks. They're traveling into the dark. The night just saw your heart really bled. I saw a part of you, it's already dead.
I think what we want to do is be in control of this band, and we want to record and then get it out there as quickly as possible, because the more time that passes, the less like that band we are.
And do you think you'll take it down the same record label route as you have for the past albums, or do you think you'll be more inclined to try and do things yourselves again?
Well, we are contractually obliged to give this album. You know, we've got a 3-album deal, so.
Yeah, I mean there will be somewhere along the way, because of the